Previously, in the last episode, I traveled to Quyaz to buy supplies. But on the very first night I arrived there, everything changed. My village, Tubilis, was raided by unknown men. My parents were killed. Since that night, I have sworn revenge. Now my companions and I are riding toward Tubilis. We must see what remains of my home and find the truth behind the attack. Someone did this, and I will find them. I am Wusur, son of the sea, of the clan Banu Yatash. Welcome to episode 2. I walked slowly through the village, every step bringing back memories. The well where we once gathered water, the small market where traders stopped during the hot days. All of it stood abandoned. Doors hung open, carts lay overturned, and the desert wind carried dust through the empty paths. My companions followed behind me silent, giving me space. One of them finally spoke, quietly. "Wusur, we will find who did this." I knelt beside the ashes where the funeral fire had burned, the last place my parents had been in this world. For a long moment, I said nothing. Then I rose. "This was no simple bandit raid," I said. "They came with purpose." We searched the village, looking for any sign, any clue the raiders might have left behind. Near the edge of the settlement, we found tracks in the sand. Many horses, heavy boots, and the marks of wagons, too organized for simple looters. I looked toward the desert horizon, where the wind slowly erased the trail. "Whoever did this," I said quietly, "they are still out there." My hand rested on the hilt of my sword. "And we will find them." The next morning, we packed our things in silence. The desert sun had just begun to rise, its light spreading slowly across the sands around Tubilis. There was nothing left for me here, only memories and ashes. So once again we took to the road. Some of my companions spoke of friends in the nearby villages, men they trusted, men who might be willing to ride with us if we were to survive the dangerous roads ahead and find those responsible for the raid. We would need more swords. So we turned our horses toward the nearby settlements, hoping to find allies willing to join our cause and ride with us into whatever fate awaited. Our first stop was the small village of Fanab. It lay hidden between the mountains, a quiet settlement of stone houses and narrow paths. The air there felt cooler, carried down from the rocky hills that surrounded it. The people of Fanab were known to be hard workers, tough men who spent their days tending fields, herding animals, and carving a life from the stubborn land. As we rode into the village, the farmers stopped their work for a moment, watching us carefully. Travelers were not uncommon, but armed men on the road always meant trouble might be near. One of my companions nodded toward a small group of villagers. "I have friends here," he said quietly, "men who might be willing to ride with us." So we dismounted and walked toward them, hoping that in this small mountain village, we might find new allies for the road ahead. There was only one problem. My companions' friends were trained warriors, men who owned their own horses and knew how to fight. Such men did not ride for free. They expected proper pay. And at that moment, I simply did not have the coin. The road had taken much from us already, and our small pouch of silver was nearly empty. For a moment, it seemed we would leave Fanab with no new men. But then one man stepped forward. He was younger than the others, strong, with the look of someone eager to prove himself. "I will ride with you," he said. He asked for no pay, only a place among us, and the promise of adventure on the road. I studied him for a moment, then nodded. "Very well," I told him. And so, he joined our party, becoming the newest sword in our growing band. Our new recruit spoke of a wealthy friend, a man named Thacker, who was in need of help, so we went to meet him in the village of Fanab. When we found him, his face was heavy with worry. After greeting us, he quickly explained the trouble that had fallen upon his house. His daughter, he said, had been kidnapped. A band of desert bandits had taken her while she was traveling near the dunes, and they had vanished into the sands before anyone could stop them. Thacker's voice trembled with anger and fear. I will pay good coin for her safe return, he told us. And even more, if those bandits never trouble my family again. My companions and I exchanged glances. We needed coin, and we needed men. This job could give us both. So I stepped forward, resting my hand on the hilt of my sword. We will find your daughter, I told him, and the men who took her will answer for it. Thacker gave us food and a place to rest for the night. After the long days on the road, the warm meal and a roof over our heads were more than welcome. My companions slept deeply, knowing that the next day would bring danger. Early in the morning, before the sun had fully risen over the mountains surrounding Fanab, we packed our gear and prepared our horses. Our task was clear. Somewhere in the desert, a band of raiders held Thacker's daughter captive. But we had one lead. Thacker told us about a man in Quyaz, someone who was rumored to know these bandits, a man who might know where they hide. So once again we set out on the road. If this man truly knew the bandits, then Quyaz would be our first step toward finding the girl and bringing justice to those who took her. After a long ride through the desert, we finally reached Quyaz once again. The city was as loud and crowded as ever, merchants shouting in the markets, guards watching the gates, and travelers from many lands moving through the dusty streets. But we had no time to enjoy the city. We were looking for a man, Abdul. Thacker had told us that Abdul knew the gang responsible for kidnapping his daughter. If anyone could lead us to them, it would be him. It did not take long before we finally found him. Abdul stood in a shaded corner of the market, surrounded by several armed bodyguards. He looked like a man who dealt in secrets and knew his worth. When we asked him about the bandits, he only smiled. Information like that was not free. He wanted coin. I hesitated for a moment, feeling the small pouch at my belt. We were already short on money, and what little I had left was meant to keep my men fed. But we needed that information. So with a heavy sigh, I handed him the last of my coin. Abdul weighed the pouch in his hand, then nodded. Only then did he give us the information we needed. He told us that the bandits had a hideout hidden near the mountains at the southern border of the Aserai lands, a place far from the roads where few travelers dared to go. When he finished speaking, we wasted no time. Without hesitation, we left Quyaz behind us. The desert wind greeted us again as we rode through the gates, carrying dust across the road ahead. Somewhere beyond the dunes, near the distant mountains, the bandits were hiding. And if Abdul's information was true, we were finally getting closer to them. As we rode through the desert, we began to make a plan. The bandit hideout would likely be guarded, and charging in blindly could cost us our lives and the life of Thacker's daughter. So we decided on something different. I would sneak into the camp alone, under the cover of night, and find where they were holding her. It was a dangerous plan, but it might be our only chance. What happens next is a story for another episode. Stay safe, and the desert winds guide you.